Eratosthenes, the man who measured the earth. As we talked about in the last video, Aristotle was able to show proof that the earth is round. But no one could answer how big this sphere actually was. How do you measure something you can never see all at once? It took about another 100 years before another smart person, with a stick, the sun, and a brilliant idea, solved the puzzle. As you might expect, it was a Greek scholar. His name was Eratosthenes. He was born between 276 and 273 BC. It's not unusual for the birth year to vary. My age sometimes changes too, depending on whether I'm asked about it on a date, or if I have to give information to the pension office. Eratosthenes studied philology, which is the study of language and literature, history, mathematics, geometry, and astronomy. Because of this, people at the time called Eratosthenes, just like me, a know-it-all. This was sometimes meant as a joke, not seriously like with me. But the fact that King Ptolemy III appointed him head of the Library of Alexandria, which was considered the most important library of ancient times, shows that he must have been very capable. But let's get to the intellectual achievement that made his name immortal: figuring out the Earth's circumference. Today, any average student can do the math. But coming up with the idea was brilliant. It's like Columbus's egg, but that's a different story. In a papyrus at the library, he read that in Syene, modern-day Aswan, the sun reflected in a well at noon on the summer solstice. So the sun had to be directly overhead. At the same time, in Alexandria, almost 800 kilometers north, an obelisk definitely cast a shadow. Using a gnomon, an early type of sundial, he had the shadow measured in Syene and Alexandria at noon on the next summer solstice. As expected, no shadow was measured in Syene, while in Alexandria, the shadow angle was 7.2 degrees. Assuming that Alexandria and Syene were almost on the same line of longitude, all that was left was the distance between the two cities to calculate the circumference. No joke this time. There were royal pace counters who were trained to determine distances by counting their steps. Modern studies show that their measurements were less than 2% off from today's accurate values. With that, Eratosthenes had all the ingredients for the calculation. To make it easier to understand, we'll use different numbers in the following explanation. Instead of the 7.2 degree angle, let's just assume a 45 degree angle and adjust everything accordingly. In city A, the angle is 0 degrees, and in city B, it's 45 degrees. Both cities are 5,000 kilometers apart. 8 times 45 degrees makes a full circle of 360 degrees. So the Earth's circumference must be 8 times 5,000 kilometers, which is 40,000 kilometers. But couldn't this also happen if the Earth was flat and the Sun was close? Then the light rays wouldn't arrive parallel. Good question. With the known distance between the two places, it's easy to calculate how far away the Sun would have to be. The distance would only be 5,000 kilometers. For many reasons, that's not likely. Plus, we would have been able to measure the distance to the Sun back in ancient times. We'll show you how in one of our next videos. Little tip: if you're working on a conspiracy theory, you should look for other arguments. Respect. You've made it this far. If you enjoyed this trip to ancient times, a thumbs up would make my day. And hitting that subscribe button would be just as dreamy as getting to welcome you back for the next video.